Confucius once said, "Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous." What Confucius is saying is that when we learn, we should actively be filtering information because there's so much information being thrown at us that we can't possibly absorb all of it. Once we have filtered what information is important, we'll also learn to apply the information. By applying it, it becomes knowledge rather than just bits of information. Today, I want to share 3 stories from my life that will hopefully shows you education is not only good for individuals, but it's good for the entire society that we live in. By the end of my presentation, I want you to walk away with 3 ideas. Number 1, education makes people more successful and happy. Number 2, education builds different useful skills. And number 3, education makes our society safer. By showing you how education makes people more successful and happy, I'd like to share a personal story with you. Michael and Susan are 2 of my classmates. Michael is great at English, but struggles in math class. Susan, on the other hand, is quite the opposite. She's almost like Einstein, but no Shakespeare. What if we can let Michael and Susan to do what they're best at, instead of struggling the subject that they don't even enjoy? My opinion is, in today's world, Michael and Susan have the flexibility of what they want to study and where they want to study it. When at university or any other type of education after high school, Michael and Susan can be the very best at the subject that they enjoy the most. Imagine if Michael and Susan were to work together. We would have a English master and a math genius all in one. Not only Michael and Susan can do what they're best at, therefore be happier, and they can make more money and become more successful. Let's take a look at this chart. People with higher education generally makes more money. As we can see, the blue triangle, a bachelor degree has a much higher income than any other type of education. Therefore, education can lead to more success. Even if you don't think education, money equals success, I have something for you. I'd like to propose that education can build different useful skills. There are 3 C's I want you to remember. Education helps us communicate, connect, and collaborate. A good example of this is how artist and writer work together to create awesome graphic novel. Artists might not have the right word for what they're drawing, and writer might even struggle with drawing stick people, but together they create something amazing that they cannot on their own. By being educated in their own interests, writer and artists can communicate better. When they share their ideas, they make a connection. Once they have a common goal of what the novels look like, they can collaborate. By being, by being educated in their own field, they create something amazing that I love to read. Once people learn how to collaborate and be the most successful and happy, they can they can make our society become a safer place. My last point today is education can make our society safer. Let's take a moment here and close your eyes, think about it. Would you rather choose to sit where you are right now or in a jail cell without enough food, water, and no freedom? This is the reality of 60,000 US teens my age. Instead of going to school, they're committing crimes and going to jail. What if we can let those kids back to school where they belong to enjoy the subject that they love the most? The statistics have shown people between age of 14 and 18 has the highest chance being arrested. We can make a big difference here by encouraging people to stay in school and helping teens to find their own interest. Another example of this is how medical and scientific improvement over many years. Back in World War One, people can easily die, not just from a gunshot, but also from a simple cut. Let's say if I cut myself, I'm not worried I will die. because I know I can just put a bandage on. Or if the situation goes worse, I can just see a doctor. Because of these advancements, I'm sure I feel much safer than people did 100 years ago. Education for teacher is a job. Education for my parents is money. But education for me is an opportunity. I want you to remember that education is good for you, me, and the entire society. Remember Michael and Susan? By being educated in their own interest, they become the most successful and the happiest. Remember the artist and the writer? By them collaborating, I have engaging stories to read. Remember how education makes our society safer. If you only remember one thing from my speech today, I want you to remember and share with all your friends that no matter what or where, education is good for both you, me, and the entire society. Thank you.